This is not a drill, it's a warning. Mess with our dreams, you'll be sorry. Cause this has been years in the making, and we decide who takes the crown. We're fighters breaking out together. Higher off the ground, we rise up singing.
We're the ones that built this city, so we're the ones to break it down. Warriors with fearless spirit. One step and there's no way out. We're gonna burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. If you're ready, make a sound so the world can hear you. Coming up now, off the smoke we're fearless. We're gonna burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. If you're ready, make a sound so the world can hear you. Coming up now, off the smoke we're fearless. We're gonna burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. Yeah, we're gonna burn this place down.
No legend, no guts, no glory. We can't die here with no stories. Leave a legacy, don't you worry. We're the ones who wear the crown. We're fighters breaking out together. Higher off the ground, we rise up singing.
We're the ones that built this city, so we're the ones to break it down. Warriors with fearless spirit. One step and there's no way out. We're gonna burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. If you're ready, make a sound so the world can hear you. Coming up now, off the smoke we're fearless. We're gonna burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. If you're ready, make a sound so the world can hear you. Coming up now, off the smoke we're fearless. We're gonna burn this place down. We're gonna burn this place down.
It's too complicated, don't think we can make it through. I try to run, but I always come back to you. I'm thinking maybe we should slow down, cause all the noise is getting too loud. Maybe it's my fault, maybe I dug my own grave. Maybe I love to lie here in this mess we made. I'm thinking maybe we should slow down, cause baby we don't even know how did we get here. All against the wall, though we made it clear we were close to fall. Now we're either gonna swim or we're gonna sink. I don't know how we did it, but we fell into the deep. Into the deep. Now we're either gonna swim or we're gonna sink. I don't know how we did it, but we fell into the deep. Feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders, cause I know that this isn't right, but we can't deny it. It's all fun and games until somebody crosses the line. My guilty conscience, broken promises, always here on my mind. I'm being honest, we can't stop this, no. This is not a drill, it's a warning. Mess with our dreams, you'll be sorry. Cause this has been years in the making, and we decide who takes the crown. We're fighters breaking out together, higher off the ground. We rise up saying,
we're the ones that built this city, so we're the ones that break it down. Warriors with fearless spirit. One step and there's no way out. Burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. If you're ready, make a sound so the world can hear you. Coming out now, off the smoke we're feeling. We're gonna burn this place down. Burn it down to the ground. If you're ready, make a sound so.
Let us know when. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Troll Picks Only Esports. I'm Quetzalcoatl. I am with
Loki Bear.
Loki Bear, and we're here hosting the Titan Esports Tournament Series. It'll be TPO Meow versus Eclipsing Tides. This will be a best of 3 to see who will make it on top consistently. Loki, what don't we talk about what we expect to see in these hopefully 3 matches tonight?
I'm honestly hoping I'm rooting for TPO, like, not to be biased. I love you, Dark. But this is like a team that they just kind of like pulled together. Some new players. They've been forming some synergy over the past few days, so I'm expecting some wild picks to come through. Honestly.
Absolutely. And now we have here I think that the picks have started. It's looking like they're banning emptiness here, but we're gonna go ahead and make assumptions that there are champions being banned here.
I'm
Now,
gonna sing. Uh,
oh, I
we
see.
have the old link. Okay.
Got it.
They're
No worries.
going through with it. Yep,
There we go.
Seraphine.
There we go. We have the correct one now. Thank you very much, Wizard in my ear. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and catch up here with what we got going on. So we have Eclipsing Tides opting to ban Seraphine in J4. I don't often see a Seraphine ban here. It must mean that TPO Meow are very enhanced and high IQ players to have Seraphine banned from them. And then in response, TPO Meow have banned, of course, the late game hyper carry Jinx and the late game hyper carry top laner Jax. No, so far so good. Kind of a standard bans here. Sean, what kind of champions does TPO Meow play, Loki?
You know, I mean, I can't give away trade secrets, but definitely not Jinx, Jax, or Wukong. I mean, I can tell you that one. But honestly, like, these are fairly new players to us. I have an idea of what I would like to see. Um, I am glad that they banned the Jinx because Not So Dark has proven himself to be a menace on Jinx in the past. Ash is still up for grabs for either one of the AD carries, which I know is kind of like a shared AD carry. And since the Maokai was first picked, that's also a shared jungler
That is quite
between
interesting.
Downfall and I think it's ET Spike him.
I mean, to leave it up to suspense, it could absolutely go top or support as well. If they're feeling very spicy on the side of Eclipsing Tides. So currently, we do have Eclipsing Tides opting to get that Maokai first pick, potentially being flexed in 3
Ooh.
different positions. And in response, we do have a Sivir, which is always a safe AD carry with nice utility and wave clear. And
Yes.
a couple of seconds here for their second pick on TP. Oh, Skarner. Brave,
Oh,
brave
yes.
jungler. Skarner is the number 1 point and click and you die champion. Almost like a more handsome Malzahar. Now,
Right?
eclipsing eclipsing tides, picking their bot laners already in the first three picks, Milio and Ash. Now that is quite the
Oh
combination.
no.
Milio and Ash could be a nightmare. Both their CC and slow was just annihilate TPO Meow if they're not careful. They'll just get run down.
I mean,
And
absolutely. With the like Amelia, I've started playing, and honestly, like he's not somebody that you want to like. Don't count him out. He's definitely something that can be a menace, especially paired with Ash. It also is like he has a disable, so
oh, absolutely. Plus, he has a D disable on his ultimate, so you know. And lastly, for the first round picks, Morgana being paired with the Sivir, potentially going mid, who knows, or even jungle. But the assumption here is that Morgana is support, and now the second round bans have begun with Zed being the first ban here,
I
and
think that's a safe pick or a safe ban. And Gwen is most definitely a safe ban. Um, I mean, Gwen into any top laner kind of wins lane, so
I mean, I agree. I agree. Anybody who has to come up close to the smacky round, Gwen does like that. Not to imply anything, but uh, rounding out the last couple of bans with a wow. I have not seen anyone ban a Camille in a while, so that is always nowadays in this patch is always a niche pick. So they definitely don't want the top laner having any sort of carry with the Jax and the Camille being banned. And last ban on the side of Eclipsing Tides, we're gonna have 5 seconds to see who have they decided to ban here, and it is a Victor, of course. A lot of standard bans here, Loki.
I mean, like, do you really want to face the victor?
I mean, you're not definitely not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Unless you have a plan to deal with him before he gets to mid late game,
Right?
it is a hard pick to kind of make your comp around. Let's see. Now with the TPO Meow, we're gonna be expecting the top lane and the mid laner here. Do you think a I guess they already went for it. Mordekaiser is their top laner pick. Um, it's looking
Okay.
like this comp is looking like a run him down as fast as you can type deal from TPO Meow. What do you think?
Oh yeah. I know that these guys had a plan set. We just hooked them up with a coach that I'm hoping will give them the direction that they need to get themselves a win. So definitely, actually, Skarner is um a very new champ to Downfall, so that will be exciting to see how he can use this one.
Now, what do we see here? Eclipsing Tide
Oh
picking up
no.
Fiora for their top lane carry ETSX,
Ugh.
wanting to make sure that he is on the map and everyone knows it. And Cassiopeia being picked up for the mid lane. This is going to be a very hard 1v1 for the mid and the top lane if TPO Meow play their cards right, because Eclipsing Tide so far does have the upper hand in top and mid lane. If they're able
Absolutely.
to utilize the resources carefully. Cassiopeia is mana hungry in the early game, and Fiora does have a lot of damage in the early game, but can mess up and die quickly if she does not careful and use her
Oh.
riposte in a wrong way. And in response, it's a Yone. That is that is a very brave pick as well with the Skarner. Yone
It is.
versus Cassiopeia. We hope to see the Yone play carefully against the Cassiopeia. But as you know, all the picks are set, our comps are ready, and the teams are raring to go. Loki, as the picks go in and the bands and their 3 minutes go down, let's go ahead and do our usual. Let's talk about the comps. Let's talk about the champions here.
All
Uh,
right.
As always, Loki, starting at the top, we have a Fiora versus Mordekaiser, which to me is almost like a classic one, top lane matchup, kind of like an Irelia versus Jax type deal. What are you thinking here? What do you see here? Fiora versus Mordekaiser.
I mean, I know that Fiora can do like quite a bit of hefty damage up there. Not one that I would choose to face. Um, But then again, you have to Mordecai the Death Realm, so if he plays it right and getting that Fiora in there, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure how that matchup works, but I have faith in the top laners, so I mean, I gotta believe in my team here.
Of course, I'd like to imagine that with Mordekaiser being resourceless, that if he plays his CDs carefully, he can outlast the Fiora and probably get some poke in before she tries to run him down
Yeah.
in the pre-6 lane. Now, going straight to mid lane, Cassiopeia versus Yone. I kind of see Yone struggling in the early game if he does not carefully combo his abilities onto the Cassiopeia for poke. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think that it's going to be a rough lane for Yon. But I think what the objective should be is to get the mid tower down and let Yon do some roaming and kind of make it so that Cassiopeia can't get ahead. As long as like we keep her down, I think that Yon definitely has the upper hand. It's just we just can't let the Cassiopeia get out of control.
Of course, of course. Going to the bot lane, we have an Ash Milio versus an Sivir Morgana. Now, I'm not too familiar with who Milio can go well with, like a Lucian Lulu or a Lux Caitlyn. What do we think here specifically with Emilio and Ash?
Amelia and Ash actually pair very well together. Um, and if I know, I mean, I've known Dark for the entire length of my competitive history. So I think we're going on like 4 years now.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I mean, he is an amazing AD carry. So I'll never downplay that one. So he's definitely an amazing player. I have not seen something that he hasn't excelled on. So it will definitely be something that Sivir is going to have to be careful of because once she gets that Q off, I mean, she does a lot of damage. And then you have just Melio that's going to throw his Q that also does damage. So this is just like a damage bot lane. Morgana's gonna have to be good at landing those Qs for the roots and make sure that Sivir's black shielded when necessary.
Absolutely. Now, the most flexible and, has to be everywhere on the map individual, the junglers. We have a Maokai versus a Skarner. So we do have a tank versus a fighter with Skarner. Um, Tell me, what do you see here with these two junglers? In my opinion, the Maokai is gonna have an easier time ganking because his CC is just point and click, and Garner has to earn his CC by getting really close to his targets. What do you think?
Um, I do agree with you on the Maokai thing. However, Skarner is going to make it so that you have to buy that special little item called QSS.
The QSS tax, of course.
I mean, because like you're gonna need it for the Mordekaiser for the Skarner. So I'm not doubting what Downfall has in store, but I'm definitely excited to see a Skarner. I don't think I've seen Skarner play competitively yet in the series that I have casted.
Alrighty, well, uh, now that all the players, excuse me, and all the champions and the matchups have been talked about, last thing to talk about is the comps. Just looking at the comp overall, who do you think has the advantage, Loki?
Oof. Without being biased, it's very hard. Because I do know what Cassiopeia brings to the table. I know Maokai has the root with his ultimate. He's got the saplings. And Fiora's just a menace. So um, Cassiopeia is going to deny a lot of people the ability to charge at her. So that's where Yon's going to fall short. Um, and if Ash lands that arrow onto like anyone, it's going to give Eclipsing Tides the favor there. But oh, Dark is on Comfort. Yes, he is. Um, I've seen Dark annihilate people on Ash. So
Okay.
um, I'm gonna count on Morgana's Black Shield here and make sure that they're here to protect the carry. It's not an overly big protect the carry comp, in my opinion. It looks like they are looking to kind of like just they're looking for damage output, which is definitely what they bring to the table. So I
Absolutely.
don't know, what are you thinking here?
I actually see two very distinct comps between these two teams. TPO Meow has a very uh, has a very special comp of either going in as fast as possible, or they even have a potential disengage between the Sivir and the Skarner. They have very good synergy in the fact that Skarner needs to get to the enemy, and Sivir will provide that utility. And Morgana will bring down that black shield on whoever goes in to ensure that they stay in the fight or avoid that very crucial CC. However, on the flip side, Eclipsing Tides are very skirmishy with all the champions that they have. The one advantage they do have is that Fiora will demand someone to come check her in the side lane
Yeah.
once it gets to the mid to late game. And if no one can step up to her, TPO Meow is gonna have a very hard time in trying to make things happen. If they can't go if they can't go in, then they're gonna have to make a new plan. But we'll see you guys on the flip side when the game starts.
Yes, we'll be right back.
All I do is work, hustle, grind, hard. I ain't never gonna stop, nah. All I do is work, hustle, grind, hard. Level up until I drop, yeah. Independent grind, got no A&R. They used to tell me I would never make it far, but this vivid vision in my head is razor sharp. So much weight on my shoulder, I'ma raise the bar. Cincinnati flow, watch me crack the code. Sick and savage mode, might just catch a cold. Count my money up, yup, on my Casio. Give me a bag of dough and I'ma bounce, adios. Everybody know what comes around goes around. Middle fingers up when I feel broken down. My ribs are touching, I can hear my stomach growl. Make no bones about it. Yeah, I've been sleeping on a bed of thorns. I can see the exit door. Take me out this mental ward. Check the weapon drawer. Life's a checkerboard. It's time to settle scores. That ain't just a metaphor. I be rocking my shows and I pop the cork. Got my pockets on swole, cause my profits soar. Better lock your doors, cause I'm like the god of war. Ripping out your rotten core. Y'all are fake across the board. Y'all too savage. I keep it moving cause I got flow. Trying to dodge every pothole. I'm a rapping version of Picasso. Invest everything that I got, so I chip in my cheese like nachos. Bet on myself and hit the lotto. Estoy algo cansado. Así quiet. Everybody know what comes around goes around. Middle fingers up when I feel broken down. My ribs are touching, I can hear my stomach growl. Make no bones about it.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Titan Esports Tournament Series. We have Eclipsing Tides versus Tropics Only Meow. And we're right in the game, Loki. Yay!
Yes, I'm excited for this.
Absolutely. And it's always a lovely thing to see both teams just doing a 5-point across the map. The Maokai and the Young shown some love to each other. Everyone wants a piece of the party. So,
Oh, yeah.
but so far so good. Everything is a bit normal. We do have the Maokai dropping his ward into the enemy brush and to the enemy red side. So he will be able to get to hang out and see what's going on over there.
Ooh, Skarner was smart and started that the Oracle lens. Kind of expecting someone to get some cheeky vision there.
Absolutely. That means that he was able to deny a lot of information. Uh, and both teams are doing opposite sides. So Skarner will be moving his way up to
Um,
the top side with Maokai going towards the bot lane, meaning that Eclipsing Tides is prioritizing the bot lane over top lane. And of course, vice versa. So far so good, Loki. What do you kind of expect the jungler's focus will be in this game?
um, I'm gonna say, like, I think Skarner's gonna want to focus bot side. I know that Maokai will probably focus top to kind of make sure that the Mordekaiser doesn't take out.
Oh, we
Uh,
do have Milio getting
oh, here
binded,
we
but no
go.
no 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 fair trade of HP here. With Ash having nothing to do with the CC, gets poked down to 70% health here. Ash is not respecting the potential poke. But yeah, as you were saying,
I just think that they're gonna want to shut the shut the Mordekaiser down. So I think that we'll see more of Malphite top lane, possibly early ganks mid.
whoa,
I think.
Morgana has not missed a
Oh my
binding
gosh,
yet. Milia gets very
let's
low,
go!
all the way down to about 20 to 25% health here. Has to chug a couple bots here. Morgana is on a roll here. Uh,
Wow.
my goodness, it's very casual back and forth in the bot lane, but Milio's not respecting the potential binding engages here from the Morgana, Loki.
Yeah.
And here we go. We have what we were talking about earlier. Yone having to respect the damage from the Cassiopeia, but the Cassiopeia is not there yet to be able to just spam her spells.
Um, I'm surprised that Yon was able to hit level 3 first, while doing some damage to this Cassiopeia. So Cassiopeia is gonna run out of mana quick. Where I mean, Yon doesn't need it. So
Absolutely. I mean, to be quite honest, top and mid lane will be the war of attrition, and Sivir
oh,
popping her spell shield at the right time, denying the Milio
nice.
Q. Is they did spot out the Maokais. They didn't want none of that tree.
No, get the
So
tree out of here.
TPO Meow are able to disengage quite comfortably, and Milio pushing into the blue side jungle for
uh,
some vision. So far so good. Everyone is playing as well as they should. However, it is Eclipsing Tides that has the advantage with vision and
yes.
a little bit of I don't want to say lane superiority, but to be in a position to be able to farm comfortably. However, I am concerned that Yone in the mid lane is kind of out farming the Cassiopeia, which shouldn't really be the case here, Loki.
Oh yeah,
With,
no, it shouldn't be the
Yone just
case.
straight passing the Cassiopeia's
Ooh,
W, but he's getting poked really low. He thought he was gonna spit out the damage much faster than he is, but has to back off. And Ash pops her ghost and goes right onto the Sivir. The Sivir has to pop ghost and flash, but the Ash inevitably takes down the Sivir. First blood goes to the Ash. Not so dark is just making it happen in the early game. There was
absolutely.
nothing happening, and boom, first blood. So far, so good. Business as usual, it seems.
Mordekaiser is a little bit behind the Fiora here, especially in the farm department. So he's gonna need to catch up here. Because this once he hits level 6, that is when Fiora has to be careful of the Death Realm. Um, but I don't see anyone. I'm not. I'm guessing that the QSS probably won't come out until later in the game if they opt to at all, depending on how much of a threat they see from these teams.
That is absolutely correct. I mean, at the end of the day, Fiora is one of those champions that wants to 1v1 you. So being death realmed is probably one of the favorite things she wants to have happen to her.
Yeah.
But as we said so far, Eclipsing Tides have put a little bit of investment in the top lane. They're not gonna get their money's worth until mid to late game, and so far it's happening. Like you said, Fiora is well over 20 CS over the
Yeah.
Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser has to back off because she's already level 6, and giving any sort of lead to the Fiora could spell disaster for
It could. Yeah.
TPO Meow. And right,
I am surprised that the Sivir is ahead in farm. I mean, like it looks like Ash is kind of like evening up the score line here, but they need to be careful because Dragon is up and it is Cloud. So I mean, it's
I
not
mean,
a
look,
massive deal, but
you're already calling it. We have Eclipsing Tide starting it on the cloud on the Air Drake. TPO Meow do spot it out, but it's looking like they're gonna give it up because they're in no position to be able to push in. The Skarner is around the corner. Do they do anything about it? They're pushing in. The Fiora was there as backup. That is very scary, but she TP'd and the red team has seemed to know that she's gone. TPO Meow going straight in. The Yone ulting right on top of 4. Everyone having to flash out. The Skarner is chasing down 1. Kills the Cassiopeia. Do they keep going? Yes, the Martyr Kaiser out of nowhere. Ults
let's
the Ash.
go.
She's coming here. I'm gonna take you down, girl. What you gonna get up? No, the Martyr Kaiser takes down the Ash. Milio has to say
Nice.
goodbye to his new best friend.
Oh my
Mordekaiser
gosh.
TP's in as Fiora TP's out. It is absolutely bonkers.
That was a great play by the Mordekaiser. I mean, like the team, the communication had to have been there for that play. I mean, yes, they got the Drake, but I mean, hey, it took down the Ash, which is something that he had gotten a kill once. Are we gonna let you keep going?
I mean,
So,
absolutely. I'm assuming the call was, guys, I'm dying up here. Please let me get a kill. The Morgana binding with the the
oh my
tormented
gosh.
ground. Does he take? No, she doesn't. The Milio gets out with Abyss. Oh my goodness gracious! Morgana's trying to do spicy
Oh
plays. She
my
wants
gosh.
the kill, but the Ash is just chasing her down. Will the Morgana go? No. Thankfully the
That
spell
was
shield
so
saves her
aggressive.
life. Morgana's trying to get some style points
Holy crap.
onto the Milio, but she just narrowly misses the binding. So
This
as you
Million
said,
needs to be careful because he's low health and this Morgana's not backing down.
Azia is just shooting out these bindings left and right like a World War II sniper, just taking them down, and Emilio's just eating it all up. But Ash is trying to protect their vision, but Morgana just spell shields and says thanks for the ult, guy. And the Yone goes into the Cassiopeia, but he brought back a tree friend, and the Cassiopeia is trying to go back to the mid lane, but no, she did not respect the fact that the Skarner could appear out of nowhere, gets ulted on, gets taken down by the Skarner. My goodness,
Oh
this
my
is the
god.
second death onto Cassiopeia. She was not respecting that she could not walk there.
There seems to be a lot of not respecting um, the TPO from the side of like Eclipsing Tides. I honestly think that they underestimated this team because they're like, listen, like they haven't like won in the past. Like, this is gonna be easy one for us. And TPO shut up and said, yeah, guess what? Like, we're here
Uh-oh,
to.
the Skarner thought he could go ahead
Oh
and
no!
counter jungler, but the Fiora sought him out, drops the ult, and takes him out with a nice little W. And Fiora spots her next victim. The Yone's trying to get out, but the Fiora flashes in place for style points, I'm assuming, and the camera goes straight to the bot lane. The Sivir gets mowed down by the Ash. She does have to pop Ghost and ult, so she's super speeding her way out. Unfortunately, she is now a summoner and an ult down over the Ash, who does have her ult coming up in 2 summoners.
Holy crap.
Yeah, TPO Meow are doing very well, but Eclipsing Tides are holding it together. So far, so good.
Yeah.
We're hoping to see these little victories here and there translate into a bigger objective take somewhere on the map. The next dragon isn't until 1 minute and 20 seconds. And currently, there is an advantage on the side of Eclipsing Tides in the top lane, Loki. Like I said, their investment in Fiora is coming out, but the Mordekaiser does have a kill, so that kind of makes them even. Do you think hopefully they can turn this one out in the favor of Mordekaiser?
I'm hoping so. However, Maokai was able to take the Rift Herald somewhere when the camera was deciding not to pay attention. So that's a little bit rough.
Oh, the Morgana going aggressive. The Melia has to
go.
push her back. Yes, I'm so sorry. Aggressive as you're saying, that Morgana was walking very aggressively toward the bot lane. Even I was intimidated.
The Yone's doing like significant damage on this Cassiopeia. Like even though she has that grounding ability, it doesn't seem to
No,
phase her
Mia,
very much.
that's a binding. You can't walk that way. And he gets ulted by the Skarner. The Maokai is there to respond, but unfortunately he could not save the million. Drops the ult to keep the bot lane from responding, but the Ashe is trying to go in onto the Morgana. The Morgana unfortunately has to pop her ult, and unfortunately has to pop her
Oh
stopwatch, and
no!
Cassiopeia just randomly waltzes in to take the kill onto the Morgana. And Fiora's trying to do something with the mid lane, but she is right on. Gets ran down by the Skarner and the Yone. Will she be able to do something? No. She drops the ult on the Skarner, but the Skarner is the one that is able to take a kill back. This is quite
Nicely
interesting. The
done.
the Eclipsing Tides mid laner goes to the bot side to see if she can do something, and they were smart enough to tell the top laner to rotate mid, but unfortunately was there a little bit too long and gets taken out. But Eclipsing Tides has managed to even out the gold once more by taking the dragon, Loki.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, like Morgana's lurking here, but the ultimate is popped by Amelia to get Ashe out of the Morgana bind. So there's been a lot of spells used here.
Absolutely. Uh, as much as TPO Meow are trying to stay consistent with their gold and their plays, they're just not getting out any victories in the most important part of the game, which are the objectives here. Two
Yeah.
dragons going over to the side of Eclipsing Tides. Currently, my goodness, if you see the CS difference in the top lane, Fiora is just leagues ahead by the Mordekaiser. And it
Yeah.
might not be a lot of CS, but if you have played the game a lot, you know that Fiora with any sort of lead is just spelling doom for your top laner. And
Yeah.
right now she has well, hold on. We're distracted here with the Yone going all up into the Cassio's area and personal space, but he's not able to take her health down as much as he wanted to. So Cassiopeia is able to maintain her standing in the mid lane. Going back to the top lane, yeah, we have Fiora having her mythic item already, and Mordekaiser only having the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is something he does need, but he did respond only
Yeah.
wanted that. But the Fiora is running down the Mordekaiser, dropping her ult on top of him. He has to flash it. Will he be able to walk out? No, he tried to turn around and ult the Fiora right on the turret, but he
Oof.
dies right before he can. And that is unfortunate. Now we know what's going to be happening in the mid lane. TPO Meow will have to have some sort of plan ready for when it's time to get out of these lanes, how to deal with
Yeah.
the Fiora. Our biggest fear was that the Fiora was going to be a split pushing threat, and now she's already gotten the resources necessary to get there, Loki.
Yeah. Yeah. She's definitely in a scary spot for TPO. Um, Yon fortunately does have the lead here in mid lane. I don't
Whoa,
know
the
if it's going to be
Cassiopeia
enough.
saw the jungler on the side lane, but whoa, the Yone goes right in. The
Oh
Skarner
my
manages to
god.
ult the Cassiopeia, but they leave her up for the Yone. Yone thankfully is able to get it down.
Nice.
And right now we do have the Fiora
Oh.
and the Mordekaiser going at it right under his own turret. But right now Fiora is getting a little bit of turret damage and health damage onto the Mordekaiser and his turret, but she has to respect the fact that he does have a Cryolite Crystal Scepter, so she can't do a lot of her fancy feet movement like she wants. And right now we
Yep.
have another kill on the side of TPO Meow, but like we said, kills are not the biggest factor in the early game so far. Two dragons are down on the side of, excuse me, on the side of Eclipsing Tides, and Fiora manages to do a sneaky deaky with as a like a Garen cosplay, but manages to take down the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser gets taken out with from 40% health all the way down to zero. Fiora with 3 kills, 1 death, and a first tower gold in her pocket. This is going to be a
Yep.
very, very scary Fiora.
I completely agree with you. And where the director camera failed to show us, Malachi did pick up Herald number 2. So that's another herald into or onto Eclipsing Tide. So they're really gonna need to figure out where that's going and stop the Maokai before he drops that.
Absolutely. We do have Dragon in 1 minute's time. Binding goes onto the Cassiopeia. The Yone does not care. He ults, but he's like, hold on, let me know. No, I'm good. Let's take an exit. No, but he tries to leave, but everyone chases him down. The Maokai manages to get right on top of him. Point and click CC to the rescue. Mordecai to the rescue himself. TP walks right down to the bot lane, ults the Ashe. The Ashe has to flash out. The Cassiopeia keeps getting CC'd. But she manages to live with a little fraction of health left. The Skarner is dueling and duking it out with the Fiora, but he has to run away. He does not want any of that. The Ashe is trying her best to live, but she gets taken down finally. And as Skarner tries to make a dramatic exit down his lane, he does get caught up by the Maokai and gets taken out by the Fiora. Fiora 4-1. The Mordekaiser are trying his best to respond. Wow, the Yone TPs into the middle of the lane, tries to stop the Fiora and the Maokai from doing anything, but he gets 100 to 20% health in a few seconds time. He's able to let them know that he's not scared of giving a bit of his HP to secure this objective, hopefully, but no, it's looking like Fiora and Maokai are staying in lane to secure this third dragon of theirs. Maokai is starting the dragon. The Mordekaiser are getting pushed out by the Cassiopeia. It's a very tense moment right now. We do have TPO Meow trying to do something right now. The dragon at 50% health. Will they be able to push into the river?
I don't know.
Eclipsing Tide finishes the dragon and are making their exit. Unfortunately, TPO Meow has to give up this third dragon. The Yone gets caught up by an Ashe ult. I'm assuming that was just a warning shot. Don't walk into that part of the jungle, Yone. And he manages to walk out. But so far, not so good. 3 dragons over the side of Eclipsing Tide. TPO Meow needs to find a way to turn this game around in their favor. Whether it's to give a lot of the resources to the carries or set up their these objectives a lot sooner than they're doing. Because so far, Eclipsing Tides are making it to these objectives before they're able to even set up.
Oof.
No, the Silver is trying to walk out, but the Ashe is just not letting her move whatsoever. The Yone tries to ult out. There's a Fiora right on his tail, but he does not. He gets blocked by his ult, and Fiora just follows his ghost. So far, this game has exploded at almost 19-20 minutes time. The Mordekaiser is trying to hold out in the side lanes, and this Herald is doing its job, taking out the second tier mid turret and the third tier turret going down as well. Loki, my goodness, this game is going quick. However, Morgana still has that trigger finger, so she's able to bind whoever she sets her mind to.
I think Morgana's doing exactly what she needs to. They need to kill this Fiora. They need to shut her down very quickly.
Morgana manages to get a binding straight onto the Melio, drops the ult to make sure he can't escape. Will the Mordekaiser get him? Yes, he does.
Nice.
Melio goes down. The Mordekaiser does have a kill on the board finally. Is working toward his mythic item here. However, Fiora is doing her thing in the side lane, manages to take out second tier turret all by her lonesome.
Yeah, she's strong right now.
She's going out of control very quickly here, Loki. So far, the only thing I can think of is that TPO Meow have to get control of their vision and start trying to force these objectives to cause Eclipsing Tides to mess up. Loki, what do you think?
I think that they need to start going for picks. And definitely one of those picks should be Fiora. They just have to catch her out of position, which seems to be not an option this game.
I mean, that's very true. They could plan to go in. We have a Skarner catching out the Cassiopeia once more. The Cassiopeia has to flash. The Yone ult gets caught in the Cassiopeia ult, but it still works through. She gets knocked up, and they're just destroying her on the way down. Mordekaiser catches Melio once more. He ults him to make sure he can't go anywhere. Emilio stands on the edge of his ult, flashes over the wall. Will he be able to get out? No, the TPO Meow gets confused. The fancy feet from the Emilio, the Ashe is popping all her CC onto the team so
Oh,
they can't follow. And right now, Emilio manages to get out safe and sound. This is unfortunate. They did have an easy kill. Mordekaiser walking toward them very aggressively with the Yone trying to stop the Fiora split push. They have to do something here, Loki. They have to do something. TPO Meow flashes onto the Ashe, drops the ult, and she manages to walk out. She does have QSS. She's able to walk out with a sliver
oh
of
my
health.
gosh.
Yone is running them down, but the Fiora just TP'd onto the side. Yone is trying his best to take out the Cassiopeia before he goes down. Will he be able to do it? No, the Cassiopeia manages to turn it around. Sivir is trying to kite onto the Mordekaiser, but the Mordekaiser, excuse me, the Mordekaiser, the Maokai, but the Fiora flashes onto the Sivir and takes her down little by little.
Oh
And
no.
on the side here, Morgana almost takes out the Cassiopeia, but the Emilio is able to keep her alive. And another kill goes to the Cassiopeia. This is unfortunate. A straight ace on the
Yeah.
side of TPO Meow with no one dropping in Eclipsing Tides.
I mean, we knew that like this Fiora was going to be an issue. I think you called it early. But a 7-1 Fiora with a fully stacked Ravenous Hydra, Divine Sunderer. I don't know what a
Oh my
matchup like
goodness.
this was looking like.
And she's building a Mana Moon. Manamune, that is going to be a Fiora that is just going to hurt all around. Like even the Skarner has to stop, and he manages to ult her. The Fiora just not respecting the fact that he could just do that. But the Skarner goes down with all the Qs from Fiora. Fiora Q drops. Oh my goodness, the Fiora Q drops the Morgana and drops the Sivir. This may very well be game.
I mean,
Are
I
they
think
gonna
that
do it?
we need to get rid of this Fiora. Absolutely.
I can
I
guess
don't
that
ever want to see a Fiora again.
Yone on the side to see if he can scope something out. The Mordekaiser ults the Fiora to see if he can take her out. The Yone on the outside of the death row is trying to take people out before the Fiora comes back. He's able to take down the Ashe. Will they be able to take on the
Nice.
Fiora? No, they managed to make her
No?
come back. Ooh, a lot of damage from the Fiora Q. Mordekaiser has to back off. The Skarner and the Morgana are chasing down
Oh my
the enemy team out of their base, but they're able to walk out with no problems. And so far, TPO Meow manages to hang on. That was a potential game end there, but they all spawned and were able to stop them without any more casualties.
I just want to point out that Cassiopeia soloed that Drake. They got soul, and Cassiopeia did it by herself.
Oh my goodness, they have what was this Hex Tech Dragon Soul. That means whoever
Yeah.
gets tapped up will get slowed with an additional piece of damage done into them. And since that is a Fiora, the one thing you want to have done to you is being slowed while she's running you down. We do
Oh,
have
boy.
currently gates down in mid lane and in bot lane, with only top lane on the side of TPO Meow left. But Fiora is in that lane, so that may very well be a dead turret. And we
They are
currently
starting Baron.
they are starting Baron Loki. I mean, this
Holy crap.
this may very well be the final push. What do you think?
I do think that Eclipsing Tides definitely has this game in their pocket. The scoreline, however, is fairly close. I do have to say, like, I think that they had a it was like 26-4 last week. So this is a complete turnaround from what we've seen from TPO this week. So I am proud of what they've done so far. It's just that Fiora was a menace.
Absolutely. Oh, Fiora
absolute
manages to
mess. Oh my
catch out the next victim. The Yone is screaming for help internally, but he's able to get out with a ghost trick in his ult straight out. The Fiora, unfortunately, not able to get her next kill. The Fiora is 240 CS, 100 CS over her lane opponent. That is the power of a split pusher. And right now she is just getting all this attention in the bot lane while the rest of her team is taking out the final turret. and the Fiora goes straight on to the Skarner, manages to repost his CC, and he's just being a menace down there. And her team is just doing their job, just
He
taking
was
down
the
the objectives.
distraction that they needed. They needed
Absolutely.
distraction
Oh,
to take
Fiora
distance.
flash ults right onto the Sivir. The Sivir manages to walk out, but barely. The Cassiopeia does not care, manages to get her down, but Fiora on the flank takes down one, takes down two. Will she be able to take down
my
three?
God.
She's in the death realm and takes down three.
Oh my gosh.
And sooner before we know it, down goes the Nexus for game number 1.
Oof, that was a game. I have to say,
Sure
it was a game.
It-
I don't know what they really could have done any different with a Fiora that is that terrifying.
I mean, absolutely. The Fiora did 29, almost 30,000 damage. This game went from TPO Meow versus Eclipsing Tide to Fiora versus TPO Meow. It was just unfortunate to see such a thing to occur. However, the Fiora did what she was supposed to do. She split pushed, got very strong, and became a threat that no one could answer. TPO Meow tried their best to answer by fighting the rest of the team, but unfortunately they were too behind to be able to do what they needed to do. And so game 1 goes to Eclipsing Tide.
Yeah.
Any I know you were saying it throughout our cast of the first game what TPO Meow need to be doing, but securely, what are some changes that need to be done?
Ban Fiora.
Of course.
I would say keep the Jinx ban, but take that Ashe away from Dark. Somebody take the Ashe away from him. Like, he does not deserve to have his champions. He doesn't get to sit comfy in that bot lane.
Of course, of course. You heard it here first. Just take away everything that makes them comfortable. Play uncomfortable. Well
Yeah.
then, Loki. With that done, we're gonna go ahead and take a short break as we get game number 2 set up. So don't go anywhere.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning. You wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face. Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you will break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread with the angels. Fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 2 of the Titan eSports Tournament Series. Eclipsing Tides versus Troll Picks Only Meow. Now, like we discussed, Loki, gotta get rid of that Fiora. Fiora cannot see the light of day in any of these next
No.
two games, right?
No, I don't want to see Fiora. Like, I'm gonna have nightmares about that Fiora.
That's
Like,
right. You're
now,
gonna wake up in a
actually,
cold sweat.
now I'm gonna go and learn Fiora because I have no idea how to play that champ, but they just made that look so easy to, like, annihilate the entire team, so.
I mean, being utterly destroyed by a champion in a game does have a lot of influence to make you want to learn it. That's true. Now, going to the bands here, we do have Eclipsing Tides and TPO Meow doing the same bands here. Seraphine and Akshan and Jinx and Jax. Now, it's looking like Eclipsing Tides have changed their bands now. It includes a Morgana. They didn't like how consistently Azia was throwing those bindings out there. So
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that Morgana ban, but they did not ban Fiora. I think that I'm crying.
Right now, the Wukong is TPO Meow's third pick, a third ban, and immediately Eclipsing Tides had spent no amount of time to think about it and picked the J4. So it's looking like J4 may very well be a core of their comp. J4 does it all. CC creates a personal arena for you to fight in. I mean, what more could you want? And a team attack speed buff. And TPO responds with a Vi jungle. What do you think here, Loki?
I actually like that. Now I have seen Vi in solo lanes lately, so it could be a Vi jungle, it could be a Vi top. I'm gonna on the safe side just say that it's Vi jungle, because I believe that Downfall has had that banned against him. But honestly, his Skarner was very impressive.
Absolutely. And right now, Lissandra is picked alongside the Vi. And we have the Zyra Khan the Lovebirds duo on the bot lane for the side of Eclipsing Tides.
Ooh.
Excuse me, TPO are gonna have to think real hard how they want to do this because TPO Meow have opted to pick their mid laner
yes.
early in the round of picks rather than push it towards the bot lane. It's looking like hopefully TPO mid can comfortably use Lissandra in the mid, regardless of who's against her. And Sivir is
The
picked up once
Sivir.
again.
Okay. So obviously that's a comfort pick for our AD carry here. So I mean I respect it. They
Absolutely.
didn't do terrible on a game one, so yeah, we'll see what they set up for the support. I
So
have an idea, but I'm not gonna give those trade secrets away. But they're not known for TPO Meow.
it's looking like TPO Meow has missed a ban. It is a Fiora ban.
Ah,
As they pick it
yes.
up in the
Thank you.
in the side here, side chat here, Gwen coming down as a pick as a ban and
No.
Victor, and then Eclipsing Tie. Oh, it changed straight into a Rise. They opted to ban Rise. I'm assuming
Why?
that was consistent. Rise is not next to Victor, so that may have been a very intentional ban. And Eclipsing Tides banning Lulu. It's
You
looking like.
know.
I'm
Oh
sorry. Go ahead.
my. So they left Cassiopeia open. They also left Camille open.
Is yeah, I can definitely see that they probably have a plan. We don't know. Lulu is very good at disrupting, so Eclipsing Tides definitely don't want someone that can disrupt whatever they got going on. Janna, so they're playing on the back
All
foot
right.
here in the bot lane rather than be aggressive and engaged. They want to make sure the Sivir farms comfortably. But so far, their comp is looking a little iffy. Um, it would be complete if TPO Meow picks something in the top lane that could benefit from a Janna. And currently,
Uh,
Eclipsing Tides
uh,
picks Silas and Camille. Two
no.
champions you definitely don't want to see in a game. Both of them more than capable of carrying in the top in the bot lane. TPO
Oh.
Meow have to think about how they want to do this. Kale is looking like one of their options, but Kale may or may not survive in the Camille in the early game unless they play incredibly careful. We do have 7 seconds left in the picks, and
Uh.
it is a
Oh
Poppy
my
top
gosh.
lane.
It's. I bet you it's a buy top lane.
It is a Poppy pick. We don't know where it's going, but Poppy in the game with all these dashers is marvelous, and that is a
Absolutely.
very good pick there.
I
Uh,
like that.
it's always the simpler picks that it just rounds out a comp. Like
Oh yeah.
Poppy is very simple. You dash, you W, you Q, and you smack them up, and they can't go anywhere. Simple, easy, effective, and everyone wants to dash, and Poppy's there to make sure that you are in a no dash zone.
Oh
So,
my. I don't like this Silas. I think this Silas is gonna be a nuisance and a half because they have so many alts to take.
absolutely, absolutely, Silas has a smorgasbord of ults to take from on on the other side. So, while everything's getting set up, Loki, let's go ahead and do our usual talk about things.
All right.
Starting in the top lane, it's gonna be a Camille versus. For now, let's
Something.
pretend we're gonna pretend it's Poppy. For now, we're gonna
All
pretend it's
right.
Poppy. So Camille versus Poppy. If the Poppy plays right, the Camille gets kind of slowed down in what she wants to do. What do you think?
I mean, I do agree with you. But Camille has the alt, and Camille's alt is just annoying. I feel like I can never get like. I have played Camille. I've played against Camille, and I can never get out of her ult. So, you know,
I mean,
it's
the
gonna be
pop.
something that they're gonna have to play careful with again in top lane.
If Poppy goes top lane, Poppy's ult counters Camille's ult. Camille
It
goes in with her
does.
ult, and Poppy winds that up, and bah, goodbye, Mister Ma'am. And then he's scot free. However, if Poppy decides to use the ult to engage, then that's a different story. Then Camille dodges with her ult. Whoa, it's a Gwen pick here. Camille doing a Gwen. Nope, it's just a Camille. All right, and this is the moment of truth, so we can really officially talk. Yep, it is a Poppy top lane.
No way.
So Poppy versus Camille
No
in the top lane,
way.
and the Vine the jungle. Now, continuing down the line here, Loki, we have Silas versus Lissandra. Uh, in my experience, I can't say opinion. In my experience, Silas beats a lot of his matchups.
Yes.
When his opponents aren't respecting his engage and damage. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think people a lot of people underestimate Silas, and that's one person you do not want to underestimate. I know Lysandra has a lot of abilities that could help her in the laning phase against Silas, but again, he's got those chains that just drag and then steal your ult, and then you're just gone. So they're gonna have to play very safely in this mid lane. And then Silas is a massive roamer. So as soon as he's able to and he gets out of lane, they're gonna have to have a lot of vision to make sure he is not ganking the bot lane.
Understood. Continuing down the line here, we do have the bot lane. We have Sivir Janna versus Zion Rakan, who is basically made for each other here. Now, in my opinion, the Sivir really all she has to spell shield is the Recon engage, and
Yeah.
everything else is fancy footwork. What do you think?
Yeah, as long as I do agree with you with the Rakan. They do have to be careful with the feather pull, but she does have the spell shield for that. I think the matchup for Zaya, I'm not actually. I think the matchup against the 80 carries is in Sivir's favor here. From my knowledge of the game, I am an 80 carries. I've been an 80 carries, so I've played both champs. So
Who has
definitely
who
would
has the better
be.
wave clear?
I personally think Sivir does. Um, I might be wrong, but in my opinion, that is what the better wave clear is.
Alrighty.
However, I think the matchup for the Janna might be a little bit rough.
I mean, her job is just to shield and slow and make sure
Shield and slow.
Rakan cannot do his combo. And lastly, the junglers. We have a Vibe versus J4. Both junglers capable of engaging from great distances. The J4 creating an isolated arena, so his target can't escape. And the Vibe doing almost the same thing, except their isolated arena is in the sky. So what do you think?
Um, Personally, I've played both junglers, and I prefer Vi. I do think that she has a lot more potential. I think Jarvan does have the flag and drag, does have the lockdown. I mean, the Vi ult does drag her to them, knocks them up. Can provide a lot of assistance for the team, but I think Jarvan might win that matchup. So again, that's just another one that they have to be careful with the Silas, the Jarvan, the Camille. TPO just needs to play safe. Definitely needs to play safe.
A lot of coordination, of course, a lot of coordination. Now,
Yes.
last thing, comp. What do we think?
I definitely think that they built or Eclipsing Tides went for the die comp.
I mean,
Personally.
they are point the finger. That person's gonna get nuked. Everyone just dumps their ult on that person.
Yeah.
And it feels like TPO Meow have a more of a traditional front to back, with Poppy being a very traditional tank able to engage. And hopefully that works out for them. But currently, we're gonna wait for the countdown now, so we'll leave you guys with a beautiful backdrop of waiting, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the load screen. Until then.
Try your luck and take a chance. Give all the risks in this moment. Take my hand and break my heart. I'll never walk this road again. Some
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 in the Titan eSports Tournament Series, TPO Meow versus Eclipsing Tides. And it's a lot of fancy skins here, Loki.
Yes. There are.
Oh, except for the J4. Unfortunately, they did not want to dish out the money.
Um, yeah. So that's an automatic L in my player in my book because like skins win game, 100%. So yeah, that's
Let's
just
see.
my pick. All right.
Everyone's
Camille woke
swapping
up and
HP.
chose
Yeah.
violence.
So right now, kind of a point out that Camille went to the kind of the newer, kind of old-fashioned TP Ignite. So she definitely wants to go very aggressive onto the Poppy here. And curiously, Janna started Q. Interesting. That's gonna be a little bit of a delay in what they want to do in the bot lane early here. And currently,
Yeah. Oh,
nothing.
they're running Space Group Lysandra. I'm gonna have to talk to this team. We don't run that space. We don't run that skin line. Oh dear lord.
That's very funny. So currently, no pertinent pieces of information goes down for either team. So TPO Meow does not know that J4 has started blue side rather than the traditional red side.
Oh no.
And right now we have Janna going way low. Janna, what are we doing with swapping auto attacks with the ADC? Has to walk away.
They were being
Uses
bush bookies and they were standing in that front bush, so Janet kind of like face checked it.
So Jenna has to use one of her pots and decides to use both pots. Poppy getting traded down very heavily onto the flash from the Rakan, flash from the Janna. Trades a flash, but currently Janna is on the back foot. Rakan and Zaya doing a very aggressive plays on the bot side. Currently 8-4 CS, so TPO Meow have to do a little bit of out of respecting here from the Eclipsing Tide side. They have not stopped to bully the Janna, but to go towards the mid side, my goodness, that Silas is eating all the poke from the Lysandra. It's taken very low, and right now the Camille is engaging onto the Poppy. The Poppy gets ignited on. Does she go down?
Oof.
No, she gets out with just a sliver of health. Thankfully, has TP is able to go back and will TP back into the lane, not missing too much. The Vi finally reaching the top side. So
Lysandra bought a Dark Seal. That is very brave, in my opinion, because you buy a Dark Seal, that means that you're like, I mean, that to me, that's just a very brave buy.
I cannot relate. I'm not very. No, I'm kidding. Right now we have J4 walking in. They get baited by the engage of the Rakan, and the Vi goes straight onto the Silas, but we didn't get to see that. Silas has to go back now, very low. The Poppy is trying to trade with the Camille, but unfortunately gets taken very low. She is down 10 CS, so she has to find a way to catch up at this moment in time. Currently, a lot of the lanes are almost even, but we can definitely see a lot of pressure being put on opposing lanes. The Zion Rakan putting a lot of pressure onto the Janna, and the Camille putting a lot of pressure onto the Poppy. Loki, what are we thinking here? Do you think that this will be a consistent thing between this laner, excuse me, in the early game, or you think they might be able to turn around with a play or two?
I mean, I think that like it's always possible to turn it around, but I expected aggression from both sides in every lane. I mean, the Lysandra did hit level 5
the
first.
Lysandra goes right onto the Silas, but the Silas is like, hey, how you doing? Let me go ahead and meet you in person. He just manages to smack her down with ability auto attacks. The Lysandra curiously takes the E to try to put some poke down to the Silas, but gets met with a lot of damage in return. Does he go down? She does go down. Does the Silas go down as well? Yes, trades life 1 for 1, but the Silas does get the first blood onto the Lysandra. Both of them do having nope, they don't have the Silas was forced back earlier after the gank from Vi, so does not have the TP like the Lissandra does. So Lissandra is able to get back to lane first and collect all that CS before it hits her tower. Um, a lot of questionable. Whoa,
Oh
the Jett
no.
goes right into the sky. The Rakan is able to catch her. However, the Rakan has lost his last bit of excuse me, mana before he goes down. The Vi is here to say, hey, how you doing? Flash early, both flash. Vi, you're
Oh
not a
my gosh.
J4. You can do a knock up after you flash. However, you did take the flash from the Zaya, so very good job. The J4 was there to respond, but it's looking like the play is done now. Uh,
Vi would actually be smart to take this drag here. But it looks like J4 instead of backing is going to actually like go in for this. So he's either going
absolutely.
to engage or he's going for this dragon.
The TPO bot lane was not in a position to really respond to any dragon plays. Them very low. Gets ulted on by the
Oh
Lissandra, but
my
steals
gosh.
the Lissandra ult. Will be able to do something. No, the Silas manages to turn around the Lissandra ult onto the Vi,
Oh
and the
no.
Camille is coming down to say what's up. Will the Lissandra be able to walk out? Yes, she can. The Camille is just having a leisurely stroll towards the mid lane. This should give Poppy a lot of time in the top lane, but decides to walk down mid instead to make sure that Lissandra does get out.
Oh, J4 did
So
start this dragon, but Lissandra kind of knows and was just going back. So
let's
I think
yep,
just J4 can take this dragon like uncontested.
yeah, J4 does have the chain whip, so he's able to take. He does have enough damage to take it down before he gets taken low. Will TPO Meow see this? The Jenna is coming to scout out. She does see it. Will she be able to do something about it? No, the J4 manages to smite it. And I'm assuming he's gonna EQ right over the wall. Yep, you're waiting for the cooldown. So first dragon goes over to the side of Eclipsing Tides. Uh you managed to call out a play, but unfortunately the opposite team does the play instead. So
I know.
very good intuition there, Loki.
Oh,
So currently the kill is 2-1 at 7 minutes. With Eclipsing Tide slightly ahead in gold, about 1K in gold. The Silas
oh,
is going right onto the Lissandra, but Lissandra drops CC and walks straight out. But she has done get a lot of damage done onto her. And the Camille and the Poppy are trading blows. The Poppy didn't walk towards her shield to pick it up
I
for
know.
some protection. The Rakan
Oh
managed to
no.
go too, and the Sivir gets her spell shield blown there, so she is vulnerable now. The Lysandra chasing down the Silas. The Silas thought he was able to
Oh
respond.
my gosh.
It's Vi ulted and responds with a Vi ult of his own. Will he be able to get out? Almost no. The Lysandra takes him down.
Oh my gosh.
Cool little ice clone gets made in her honor, and now we do
No
have
way.
2 kills on the side of Lysandra. Lysandra being the one that has all the kills. They're bullying Jenna with all their might. The Sivir blows heal very early. I'm assuming that was to keep the Jenna alive. The Rakan is just out for blood. He don't care. I think he wants to. I think he wants the kills off the Jenna.
He does. He's like, I'm not letting you have this.
There we go. We do have the Poppy going straight onto the Camille, but the Camille was just baiting, and
Oh
Jennifer
no.
comes from the tri bush and ults right on top of the Poppy for a kill for excuse me, the Camille. This is quite unfortunate. So far, it's not looking like it's going to be a repeat of a split pushing Camille being an unanswerable threat, but right now the Camille is ahead in kills and CS. But we can definitely say that the junglers are both doing their part and putting a lot of pressure on the map, Loki. What do you say?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. We did miss
Kong ults, it goes right onto
Oh
the
my
Janna,
god.
but the Janna flashes out. But like I said, the Rakan manages to get the kill he always wanted onto the Janna. So we
Oh
do
no.
have the Sivir having to push the lane without going back. The Zaya's looking like she. Oh no, excuse me, that was a Rakan. As I was saying before that Janna unfortunately died. And my goodness, Silas, what are we doing? Go straight on to the Lissandra. Lissandra is just playing around with the minions, but the Silas is just trying his best to dish out the damage onto Lissandra. Uh, looks like he's just
He's
relying
taking
on his
turret shots
heals.
though.
Absolutely. Excuse me, as I was saying, yeah, the junglers doing their jobs here so far, so good. But I'm looking at this top lane matchup here between the Poppy and the Camille, and unfortunately, Poppy is on the back foot. Has a lot of tools and utility to answer to the Camille, but you can't do too much. Whoa, the Sandra goes a long distance ult onto
Oh
the
my
Sylas,
gosh.
but the Vi ult follows up. Lissandra has to flash out. There's a Janna here in the midst. Manages to grab the Rakan. Rakan was thirsty for blood, but
Oh
instead
my
tastes his
god.
own and goes down. Another kill for Lissandra. It's looking like
Nice.
Vishwa was like, just give me the Lissandra, I'll make it happen. Flash from the J4 right on top of Lissandra.
Oh no.
Camille in the wings to cheer on her jungler.
That's
The
scary.
Lissandra gets overstaying, absolutely. Could have walked out, but unfortunately stayed, and the J4 caught her out. That was very scary.
Oh boy. They are gonna drop this Herald mid lane. Um, this is a crazy wild game, but the teleport from Lysandra does come in here.
So far, it is a shield v shield world up here in the top lane between Poppy and Camille. Camille trying to go in for the
Oh
kill.
no.
Oh, barely misses the wall stun, and ult
Oh
and flashes with
no.
the ult right on top of her. Lissandra barely able to get out. The Rakan engaging. He wants that kill, but misses the knockup just barely and flies right back out.
Oh no, Vi. Oh no.
The Vi manages to get the Silas, but the Silas steals the Vi ult and ults her right into the lane between the the first and second tier turret. And whoa, the Silas takes down the Vi. Did not
Oh
care
my
where they
gosh.
were, and is trying to fanatic bush in the blue bush, but they do not know that it's warded. The Sivir just walks in, gets exhausted on. And
Oh,
right now,
here's
the
a
Poppy
Poppy.
manages to come out of nowhere. The Rakan barely able to get out. Poppy takes one kill, and Lissandra takes her fifth kill.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
Eclipsing Tides, kind of feeling like they're playing with their food, but TPO Meow are giving it back to them. But it's so far the pattern seems to be one team does something cool and they mess up, and then the other team does something cool and then they mess up in turn. It just goes back and forth.
I mean, they they definitely have trade for trade here. But they did let this Lysandra get a little fed here. They got 6 stacks on the dark steel. It
Um,
looks like they did trade lanes. The bot lane did roam mid, and mid roamed bot.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's an optimal play. The plates are still up, but sure, why not? Uh, so far, everything seems about equal, but then you see that Eclipsing Tides have prioritized the dragons and
Yeah,
have taken their first turret up in the top lane yet again. ETSX doing his job and being the first one in the game to take these turrets. And now I'm going to assume that he's going to start split pushing now. Poppy being on the back foot once again. But so far, it doesn't feel like TPO Meow are behind in this game thus far, Loki.
no, I mean there is a little bit of a gold difference here. Now Rakan's gonna be spotted here on a pink ward, but
Oh,
they're
goes
gonna
straight
start
onto the
Herald.
The Sivers chase him down, pops her ult. The camera's going back and forth here, but they are chasing him down. Lissandra comes in. The Rakan has to flash. Lissandra still has ult. Does the J4 get out? No, unfortunately, he does not get out. His ice statue comes in to help them start Herald. The Poppy does not
Oh.
drop W, gets taken to half health. Lissandra dropping ult right into the Zaya. The Zaya has to ult and flash out the Rakan. As aggressive and thirsty for blood he was, unfortunately has to trade his life for Zaya for her to get out as a true boyfriend would.
Oh man, this is a wild game. That's all I. That's the only words I have for it. It was absolutely wild.
No, absolutely. I have not taken a breath in the last 3 to 5 minutes.
I mean, I hope you weren't expecting this, because let me tell you, these teams, they wake up and they choose violence. So
Oh, absolutely. Down to the support, even. So currently the game is 7 to 8, 15 minutes. Right now, Eclipsing Tides, as I said before, are 2 dragons up. 2k gold over TPO Meow. First turret down on the top side, which means that Camille is free to choose whatever lane she wants. And it's looking like TPO Meow are choosing to make the Poppy respond to wherever she is. We don't know if that is the optimal play. The Poppy can barely hold on right now, but whoa, the Poppy gets taken super low. The Camille takes this opportunity. The Poppy tries to ult her out, but like I said before, the Camille was just ult right over that and manages to get another kill onto the Poppy. Right now, the strongest member on the TPO Meow side. TPO Meow side is on the top lane. The Silas, I think, was trying to ult the Lissandra, but ended up ulting himself, giving Lissandra enough time to
no.
walk out, but tries to clear vision and tries to get out. But thankfully, she does
my
have
gosh.
stopwatch. But the whole team, except the ADC, was around the corner to take her out, and down goes the Lissandra. Finally, her death hasn't happened in a while, but goes down. I'm assuming it went to the Silas. Silas is now 4-4, but the Lissandra's way ahead. We don't know if that's really a big deal here. But the Lissandra will be. Whoa, the Vi goes right in. Not
Gosh.
even a second thought. The Janna ults right in the middle of the fight, gets taken out by Turtle. Unfortunately, the Poppy TPs and respond to make sure this team can fight goes in their way. The Rakan tries to go onto the Sivir, but gets blocked by the Poppy. But instead of the Rakan, the J4 responds instead. The Camille goes right onto the Vi. The Vi has to flash out. The Poppy flash out from the Rakan knockup. The Silas was on Camille's side, trying to take down the Lissandra. And Dragon up right now. Eclipsing Tides are transferring all their teams over to the Dragon. Herald gets dropped on by the side of TPO Meow. Will they be able to take something in
I think
response
so.
to the trade with the Drake? No, unfortunately.
No.
The tower barely goes down, but they do manage to take it. The Silas choosing not to answer. And Poppy walks out, and their third dragon goes down to the side of Eclipsing Tides. This is looking like a repeat of last game so far, Loki.
Yeah.
TPO Meow are doing a very good job of being able to. Cyrus finds his target. I don't think he wanted to do that though, and the kill goes straight over to the Poppy. I think he was just wanted to scare her a little bit, but it decides to go all the way in.
Oh my gosh. This is a
But yeah,
crazy,
the Vi
crazy
is
game.
chasing
Oh
down
my
the
god.
Rakan. The Rakan responds with a knockup and the ult. The Zions manages to take out the Vi from afar, and the Jenna gets cataclysmed right on top. She can't walk out. It goes right back, goes down to the J4. The Camille, just no fear. Ults the Lissandra. Lissandra tries to E out, but forgets that the Camille ult does not let you go anywhere at all. And only 2 down for nothing on the side of Eclipsing Tides.
Oof.
This is
Rough.
unfortunate so far. Yeah, rough game.
I mean,
And
the
the Sivir gets almost taken
Oh.
down to 10% health. Loki, like I said, it's a repeat of last game. TPO Meow, doing their best to scrap, but they're not doing what's essential, which is be ready for the objective takes.
Yeah, they need to get some objectives here. They need to get they can't let Eclipsing Tides get soul. That's not what they want. But I do have to say that TPO is doing a great job on their vision. Like they have the vision in the right places. Unfortunately, Rakan just likes to go and clear it all out. So, oh, wow.
I mean, so far so good. They're in a lot better place. Hopefully the Camille does not get so crazy like the Fiora did last game. She does seem a little bit manageable. The Silas just not stop. It's looking for a kill all times, but the Sandra is able to get out. Yeah, and it's looking like they definitely want to take out this Rakan via the no. Hold on, the Silas says I'm not done yet. Where are you going? He tries to ult onto the Lissandra, but Lissandra still does not. No, that was her ult. Right now,
That was
the
her
Lissandra is
ult.
trying her best to
Jeez.
survive, and the Silas is just playing around, and the Camille manages to get the kill onto the Lissandra. The
Oh no.
Silas was just donating. Whoa, the Vi goes to ult straight onto the Zaya, but the Zaya manages to counter her ult herself, but the Vi still manages to catch her. The failed flash from the Zaya. The Rakan tried his best to save his girlfriend, but she still goes down.
Oh man, they need to go for this bear. Go for Baron. Go for Baron,
It's,
please.
it does look like they're going for Baron. They're going top side. No,
It,
unfortunately, they
do
are
not.
trying to
No.
clear vision on their red side here. So
Oh
no
my
Baron
god.
play for right now. They are a bit behind. Poppy going right back top. Lissandra
Oh
going
boy.
bot side. And their hard-earned vision does get taken out by the one and the only Rakan. And Vision getting pushed deeper into the red side jungle here on top side. Uh, and Poppy,
Oh no.
unfortunately, oh no, Poppy manages to use her shield to stop the Camille engage, but decides not to counter engage for the team to follow up. Very interesting.
Uh, Rakan? You're in the wrong neighborhood there, buddy. This is not your jungle. This is not your neighborhood.
Currently, the game is 14-11 at 22 minutes. The goal score is slowly climbing on the side of Eclipsing Tides. 40k versus 34k on the side of TPO Meow. They're playing. They're playing tap dancing here on the top side. Not a lot of action happening, but Lissandra manages to get a
Oh
tower on the
no.
box. But Camille manages to meet her up. She says, "Hey, split positioning is my job. What the hell are you doing?" Lissandra has to flash up, but there's a wall near her. Walks down to dodge the engage from the Camille. But on the other side, both teams are engaging onto each other. The Vi tries to walk out, but since Silas can steal your ult straight onto the Camille. Excuse me, ult straight into the Vi.
Oh my god.
And Camille manages to finally take out her target. Whoa, the big cataclysm from J4 knocks up two and takes out one. The Poppy finally uses her ult to send people far away. And the Silas checks down the
Oh
Janna with
no.
the Camille saying, "Hey, remember me? We used to fight each other in the top lane once." And Poppy's like, "I'm trying to leave, sir." And Camille just takes her
Ace.
out.
Oh my gosh.
And a fat ace on the side of TPO Meow. This is not looking good so far.
They're gonna have to bring this back. They need to defend turrets and they need to take objectives. I mean, I want to see them take this. Baron, do not let the Baron hands or fall into the hands of Eclipsing Tides here.
And with that, at 23 minutes, Earth Dragon Soul goes to Eclipsing Tides. So big fat shields all around, specifically for the Rakan and the J4, who have shields on top of shields on top of shields. Currently, Eclipsing Tides are pushing their vision deeper to on the red side jungle on top, and thankfully, the TPO Meow are doing their best to clear vision, but so far they're being pressured on whatever side of the map that the Rakan doing his very aggressive thing, but unfortunately leaves his girlfriend alone yet again. Lissandra catches out the Zaya and takes her out, and the TP response from the Poppy, making sure that her team is safe, and it's looking like this play is turning into a Baron. They dropped the pink ward, and it's
Take
looking like
the
the
Baron.
Baron
Take the
is getting
Baron.
started. Nope, they're dancing around Baron here, but they do see the Camille. They know the Camille
Listen,
will take Baron ASAP. The Rakan, not fearing death, base checks into the team to make sure Baron's not getting taken, and does see that they're not getting taken, but
no,
they're trying to
stay and take
they're they're
Baron.
they're trying to back
Oh
here.
no.
The Sivir's the only one who manages to get back. I don't think she's the one to be back at base trying to
Oh
stop
no.
anybody. As a matter of fact, the Camille actually sees her next victim. No, uses it to escape. This is very awkward. TPO Meow have been caught out by Eclipsing Tides, and instead of trying to walk out or engage Baron, they're trying to base right where they stand, and Rakan is consistently interrupting them here.
Oh no.
Loki, I'm very nervous for this team right now. Uh, they had TPO Meow had the potential for Baron, and unfortunately they lost it right now because Camille manages to engage onto one. Jenna has to move out, and there's just so much going on right now. The J4 manages to knock off a lot of people,
Oh no.
and currently Silas is trying to clean up. The J4, excuse me,
Oh,
the Lissandra and the Vi have to walk out. The flash ult from the Zaya to catch out the Vi. The Silas is sniffing blood. Oh no! He has the ability to stop your TP, Lissandra. No! And Lissandra gets taken down mid TP. This is unfortunate. The only surviving member of the team of TPO Meow is the Janna Ezia, trying his best to keep the turret alive, has the potential to support the turret, but cannot get close enough for fear that Camille will erase him from existence.
that's a very good fear to have. But I mean, the Baron is falling right into Eclipsing Tide's hands, which is not something you want. Now you don't want to fight Camille with Baron buff.
Absolutely not. And at 27 minutes, Baron goes down to the side of Eclipsing Tides. I feel like I've seen this movie before, but with different actors, Loki.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this top laner on the side of Eclipsing Tides has just like performed like flawlessly. So that's some definitely something to be noted that like they had to everybody
Whoa,
has to be
the
aware.
J4 gets ulted on by the Vi, but it takes advantage of the fact that his EQ is unstoppable and will continue to move regardless. But everyone turns
Oh
onto the
no.
Cinder, has no options to get out. Thankfully, the Poppy is able to stop the knockouts, but just because you're stopping knockouts doesn't mean that they can't stop you from taking your life. And they're just slowly running
Oh
down TPO.
no.
The Silas and the J4 is just swapping kills left and right. The Lissandra has many options to stay alive, but unfortunately that doesn't allow her to stay alive, and she goes down by the Zaya. The Vi on the side running away, but unfortunately it's all a part of their plan. The Rakan would just continuously chase down the Vi as excuse me, as the team is going to go ahead and
Oh
take
my
down both
gosh.
turrets, and finally the Nexus taking game number 2, Eclipsing Ties 2-0, TPO Meow.
Yes. I mean, you know what? I have to say, TPO Meow played very well for being a fairly new put together team. I think that they did the best that they could, and I think that they played very well. GG's to both teams. I like I said, this was closer than I imagined that it would have been. So definitely,
Absolutely.
it was a great match to watch. I liked seeing both of them. Both teams, played their hearts out. So I look forward to watching them, coming up.
Absolutely. I do want to give congratulations to Lissandra being the highest damaging champion in the game with 26,000, almost 27,000 damage.
Yes.
Very good. So definitely was able to get an advantage early in the game, but was not able to translate that to an advantage for the rest of the team. So a lot of things to work on, a lot of things to talk about here, a lot of replays to go back, a lot of examples to look at to know exactly when to transfer those leads into advantages for the rest of the team. But like you said, Loki, it was very enjoyable to watch. I wasn't there last week,
Absolutely.
so very good to see a team still working at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, game two is done. Congratulations to Eclipsing Tides for going 2-0 in this series. And
Absolutely.
we'll hope to see everyone in the next couple of games, right?
Absolutely. We will have more games coming up. We do have our ZGG team that plays on Thursday, I believe, at 8 p.m. So I will look forward to seeing what that team can bring. They are currently undefeated in the ZGG team or in the ZGG tournament series. So let's see if we can keep that win streak up.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Loki says everyone's going to win everything. But aside from that, this is Quetzalcoatl and Loki Bear signing off. See you guys next time.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.